If you could learn from one of history's most powerful leaders how to stay calm amid chaos, make decisions under pressure, and lead with integrity, wouldn't you take the opportunity? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, faced pandemics, wars, and betrayals. Yet his lessons continue to echo, shaping leaders even today. Can you imagine standing at the helm of one of the world's greatest empires, facing crisis after crisis, all while striving to stay true to your values? Marcus Aurelius didn't just survive these challenges. He left behind a practical guide for overcoming them. His reflections, compiled in Meditations, reveal a leader who used Stoicism to navigate the darkest moments of his reign. And these lessons are as powerful today as they were 2 millennia ago. We all face hardships, tough decisions, workplace pressures, moments of doubt. What Marcus Aurelius teaches us is that the key to overcoming these trials isn't avoiding chaos, but learning how to manage it. He proved that true strength doesn't lie in military or political power, but in mastering your mind and acting with purpose. Imagine applying these Stoic lessons to your own life. But what are these lessons? How did they shape one of history's greatest leaders? And most importantly, how can you use them to face your own challenges? Over the centuries, many have sought to decode the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Today, we'll dive into 4 fundamental lessons that can transform your approach to leadership and resilience. In today's video, we'll dive into the mind of the philosopher emperor and uncover how Stoicism guided Marcus Aurelius through the greatest crises of his life. From principles like accepting what cannot be controlled to acting with justice and purpose, you'll discover how these timeless ideas can be applied to your own life and the challenges of the modern world. If you want to learn from history's greatest leaders and bring the wisdom of the past into today's challenges, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Your support helps us share these transformative lessons with more people. Imagine an emperor standing amidst a crumbling empire, plagued by famine, disease, and war. Most leaders would crumble under such immense pressure, but Marcus Aurelius took a radically different approach. He chose to accept what could not be changed. His philosophy wasn't about passive resignation, but an active reframing of reality. In his Meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This Stoic principle allowed him to confront disasters with clarity, conserving his energy for what he could influence instead of wasting it on resistance. One striking example was the Antonine Plague, a deadly epidemic that devastated the Roman Empire. Instead of succumbing to despair, Marcus focused on strategies to stabilize the empire. He didn't dwell on the unfairness of the crisis. Instead, he acted decisively, issuing decrees to manage resources and maintain order. This ability to separate what could be controlled from what couldn't is a lesson that resonates universally, especially in our chaotic, modern lives. How many times do we exhaust ourselves fighting battles we cannot win? Yet acceptance alone doesn't explain his success. He wasn't a detached philosopher meditating in solitude. He was a leader tasked with making life-altering decisions. This balance between inner serenity and outward action raises a profound question. How can a leader maintain calm while navigating the chaos of responsibility? Marcus's philosophy wasn't about surrender. It was about seeing clearly and acting effectively. But how did he reconcile this mindset with the demands of justice and leadership? Could a man so committed to inner peace also bear the weight of judging others? The answer lies in understanding the deeper layers of his Stoicism, where the seemingly contradictory principles of compassion and firmness come into play. Justice, for Marcus Aurelius, was not about rigid adherence to rules, but about aligning actions with the greater good. This perspective made his leadership uniquely complex. Take the case of Avidius Cassius, a general who attempted to usurp the throne. Instead of responding with vengeance, Marcus chose forgiveness for many of Cassius's supporters. To him, punishment without purpose was wasted energy. Yet, this decision wasn't without its moral challenges. How does one uphold justice without being consumed by anger or bias? Marcus's approach highlighted a striking paradox. He believed in universal harmony and the interconnectedness of all things. Yet his role as emperor required him to confront betrayal and enforce order. These moments tested his resolve to act justly while maintaining his philosophical principles. In meditations, he often reflected on this tension, reminding himself to do nothing without purpose and to judge others as you judge yourself. This duality made his leadership human. He wasn't immune to doubt or inner conflict, and that vulnerability only added to his strength. By confronting these contradictions, Marcus showcased the profound truth that justice is not about perfection. It's about striving for balance. He punished when necessary, but sought to avoid cruelty, always questioning his own motives. Still, this approach to justice raises questions about its practicality. Can leaders in today's fast-paced, competitive world afford such measured judgment? Or would hesitation be seen as weakness? These questions lead us deeper into the heart of Marcus's philosophy, his ability to find meaning and purpose in the chaos, turning even the darkest moments into opportunities for growth. For Marcus Aurelius, leadership was not merely about commanding armies or managing politics. It was about embodying a higher purpose. This idea stemmed from his belief in the Stoic concept of logos, the universal reason that connects all things. He saw every crisis, every challenge, as part of a greater order. In his own words, whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time. Rather than viewing hardships as meaningless, he reframed them as essential threads in the fabric of existence. During the relentless invasions by barbarian tribes, Marcus did not succumb to despair. Instead, he used these trials as opportunities to strengthen both himself and the empire. He inspired his commanders and soldiers by emphasizing shared purpose and resilience. His leadership philosophy wasn't about avoiding challenges, but embracing them with the understanding that they could shape a better future. Imagine being a soldier under his command, facing bitter winters and relentless battles, yet finding hope in his unwavering vision of unity and strength. This sense of purpose wasn't abstract. It was deeply practical. Marcus believed that a leader must act with clarity and integrity, not for personal gain, but for the benefit of all. This is why he often referred to himself as a servant of the people, despite holding absolute power. He understood that true leadership wasn't about domination. It was about serving something greater than oneself. But even with this guiding principle, doubts lingered. How could one stay committed to such ideals when the weight of leadership felt overwhelming? How did Marcus balance his philosophical convictions with the brutal realities of ruling an empire? These questions bring us to an even deeper layer of his stoicism, his willingness to embrace vulnerability and confront his own humanity. One of Marcus Aurelius's most striking habits was his nightly practice of self-reflection. Each evening, he would write candidly in his journal, not for the public, but for himself. These writings reveal a leader unafraid to admit his fears, flaws, and uncertainties. This vulnerability, far from being a weakness, was a cornerstone of his strength. By acknowledging his imperfections, Marcus created space for growth and deeper understanding, a lesson that remains profoundly relevant for leaders today. This practice of reflection has echoes in modern leadership. Many successful CEOs, athletes, and world leaders credit mindfulness and self-awareness as critical to their achievements. Marcus's example reminds us that power and vulnerability are not opposites. In fact, they complement one another. A leader who understands their limitations is better equipped to make thoughtful, impactful decisions. However, Marcus's approach wasn't just about introspection, it was about action. He knew that reflection alone wouldn't solve problems. It had to be paired with deliberate, purposeful decisions. This delicate balance between thought and action is what made him not only a philosopher, but a leader of unparalleled impact. He didn't seek perfection, he sought progress, a principle that resonates deeply in today's ever-changing world. Yet, this raises a powerful question. Could this blend of vulnerability and action still inspire leadership in an age dominated by quick decisions, short-term goals, and constant distractions? Marcus Aurelius's life suggests that the answer lies in reconnecting with timeless values. But how far are we willing to go to rediscover them? And if we do, what new challenges might arise from revisiting these ancient principles in the modern era? Marcus Aurelius believed that true leadership required both deep reflection and decisive action. But in a world of rapid change, can these ancient principles still guide us today? History suggests that the right leader at the right moment can change everything. But what happens when a commander's decisions lead to the mysterious disappearance of an entire Roman legion? Uncover the fate of Rome's lost legions and the leaders who shaped or doomed them. Watch now to explore one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world.